Good morning. How are y'all doing this morning? It is just a wonderful day. This week has been a very long, busy week, and I'm just glad to have the day off. Start my morning with a nice pipe, cup of coffee. Got my alma mater there, Illinois State University. Love that school. I was an English major in my undergraduate years. Focused mostly on literature and linguistics. No surprise there, right? This morning I'm smoking my brand new Savinelli Churchwarden 601. And I'm smoking a new to me tobacco too. It's Peterson's My Mixture 965. It's a Latakia forward blend. It's only my second experienced Latakia. My only other Latakia forward blend that I've had has been Peterson's Early Morning Pipe, which I still have to say is my favorite by far. Maybe I should have started with some other Latakia because, I don't know if I'm gonna like anything as much as I like Early Morning Pipe, but I could be wrong. You never know. So I hope everyone's doing okay this morning. I am very excited this morning. I don't know why. Sometimes I wake up in these moods where I'm just like, okay, I need to sit down and read something. And if it's a good day and there's nothing in front of me, I just want to immerse myself in it. And I'm getting that feeling this morning. I'll tell you all about it soon. But the weather's getting nicer. And for me, that always means, for some reason, I don't know what it is, maybe the good memories, maybe the nostalgia, but it means I think I'm getting ready to read The Lord of the Rings again and The Hobbit again. I do it almost every summer. I took a few years off because I was reading some other things, but all through college, after that even, the weather gets warm. I want to sit outside in the sun, drink a cup of coffee like I'm doing this morning, and read The Lord of the Rings. It's just something that never gets old to me. Just a little bit of housekeeping. You may have noticed before, my YouTube channel is new. I'm new to the world of YouTube and making videos. So I was thinking about my name, Coffee Piper, and I do like it, but I think I wanted to change. I wanted to expand it a little more and do something a little more interesting. So I changed the name on the YouTube channel, which you may have noticed. The YouTube channel is now called Coffee, Word, and Leaf. something about that just, I was inspired to change, and I really kind of like it. I mean, it kind of encapsulates a lot of the things that I want to do on this channel. I want to talk about coffee and how much it means to me, and have it be a part of this channel because it's a part of my everyday life. I just love it so much. It's the key to happiness when you start a day. It's the key to keeping energy. It's comforting, which is what I need, which is what I want to help you feel, which is comfort. And I also want to talk about tobacco and the leaf that makes all of our days better, that we put into these little bowls here, put fire to, let trail out of our mouths and just send out into the world. To me, that means comfort. Slowly sipping on a tobacco pipe, letting the day slip by. That's what I want this to be. So, anyway, this morning, I have not started reading The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings yet. I will be doing that soon, but I'm in the mood. And so, a few weeks ago, my wife, who's also a librarian, brought me home something that she found in her library's catalog. And that is a beginner's box set of a tabletop role-playing game, much like Dungeons and Dragons, but it's a little bit less, well known. It's called The One Ring. Yeah, so you already got me hook, line, and sinker, right? But it's a game much like D&D. I mean, the rules are they look to be a little more simplified, which is fine with me. But it takes place in Middle-earth, of course, between The Hobbit and the events of The Lord of the Rings. So that's so cool to me. I'm totally excited about this. I started looking into the box set a little bit, and I think I want to run a game for some of my friends. I do play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. I've been playing since I was in middle school. Maybe I'll tell a little bit of a story another time about, meeting my best friend and having him bring all of his Dungeons and Dragons books to school, and the rest was history. But yeah, today I'm kind of looking into this game for the first time, and it's really like scratching that itch, and I'm reading into the first adventure, and I really love it. It takes place in the Shire, which has always been one of my favorite parts about The Lord of the Rings, and the Fellowship of the Ring in the very beginning chapters, where you meet Frodo and Bilbo and the hobbits during Bilbo's 11th birthday, and the party that ensues, and you meet this race of people who hold all of the values that I hold myself in life. Being comfortable, putting your feet up on a nice sunny day, having a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, having a cake in between, having a nice full breakfast, taking it slow, letting all of your worries and cares slip away in a trail of smoke from your tobacco pipe as you read your favorite book. Boy, oh boy. I mean, like I said, I'm getting in the mood to start reading The Lord of the Rings again, which I hope will take me all summer and last me through the warm, beautiful mornings through the next few months. So, I'll light my pipe, and I thought I'd read a little bit of the beginning of the first adventure in this box set. And I just want you to feel like you are in the story. That's the mark of a good tabletop role-playing game. You feel immersed and you feel like you are a character in the story, being able to react to all of the events around you, go on an adventure, and just feel like a hobbit for a little bit. So just give me 1 second, I'll light my pipe, and then I'll get the book and I'll read you a little bit from the first adventure. And of course, I had to smoke this is my new Tolkien pipe. I mean, makes sense, right? And man, oh man, I'll show you some of the art in these books too. I love it. I love it. I'm going to be going to Gary Con in Wisconsin, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, next week, and this is going to be my #1 thing to look for. And if I can't find it, well, thank God for the internet, right? I'll have to order it there. So in the box set, it comes with, I think, 5 pre-made adventures. And the characters are able to pick from different hobbits. I just grabbed one. This is Lobelia Bracegirdle. So if you want, you can just kind of play along with me and act like you're playing the character of Lobelia Bracegirdle. I'll read you a little bit about her. The daughter of Blanco Bracegirdle and Primrose Boffin, Lobelia has set to marry Otho Sackville Baggins. She's about 40 years old, and she has already seen her ambition to enter Bag End as a rightful owner disappear when Bilbo returned from his adventures against all odds. If you've read The Lord of the Rings, this character might sound familiar. She's a hobbit of the Shire with a strength of 16, if that means anything to you, if you've ever, played a tabletop role-playing game. All of the characters have different stats. So those, I won't get into those, but those all kind of will help the character in different situations. So obviously, a character with more strength will be able to, inflict more damage in combat, or someone in this game with more heart will be able to maybe have more hope in situations. And as we all know, in The Lord of the Rings, hope is a very important factor when it comes to adventure. Or this person has a wits of 12, which means she's of an average intelligence. And there are different skills involved and things like that. But let's focus more on the story. So, this first adventure is called The Conspiracy of the Red Book. So a little bit about this adventure. The characters will play a group of hobbits who have been invited to Bilbo Baggins' hole in the ground at Bag End. And he has a little bit of an adventure for them. After his adventure in The Hobbit, he is doing his research to write the Red Book, which will be a history of the Shire and his adventures in Middle-earth. He invites these characters over to give them the task to sneak to Mickle Delving, which is a part of the Shire, to sneak into the museum there, which holds a lot of different artifacts and important books on the history of the Shire, as well as all kinds of other treasures. And he wants the hobbits in this conspiracy to steal the Red Book so that he can use it in his research I'm sorry, he wants them to steal a map so that he can continue his research to write the Red Book. So we'll start off with a little bit of background. It occurs during the spring or summer of 1360 Shire Reckoning, and the action begins at Bag End. Part 1, Off into the Blue. After quite a long walk under stars that have come out blazing and bright after an afternoon of heavy rain, you finally come to the round green door of Bag End, the home of the strange and famous Bilbo Baggins. Now remember, after the adventures of the Hobbit, Bilbo becomes kind of a story that Hobbit parents might tell their children, as a bedtime story, and he becomes quite the mysterious figure. Not a lot of hobbits go out and leave the Shire on these kinds of adventures, so it's quite an interesting character. Standing there upon the mat, you find yourself surrounded by distant relations. It seems as though Bilbo called a collection of cousins to join him this evening. Just as one of you is about to ring the bell, the door is pulled open, and you see standing in the front hall none other than Master Baggins himself. He offers each one of you an energetic greeting and quickly ushers you in with a plethora of welcomes, thank yous, and lovely to see yous. Before you gather your wits about you, you've been swept into the warm embrace of Bag End and led into the parlor where a lovely fire, fresh mugs of ale, plates of dainties, and several cushioned chairs and sofas after a much-needed spot of rest and relaxation. Bilbo, a twinkle in his eye, ushers you each into a seat, but takes none for himself. A few moments after you finish the first plate of food, remember, you're a hobbit, so there will be multiple plates of food, the obviously excited Master Baggins can no longer contain himself. He places one hand behind his back and another in his vest pocket, standing tall to ensure he has your attention. And he begins. You are all undoubtedly curious as to why I've called you here this evening. Well, he leans in, the firelight causing the twinkle in his eye to dance merrily. His hand sweeps from behind his back towards the parlor window. I am hoping you will partake in a little adventure. Nothing so grand as my own, of course, but in return for your aid, I will provide each of you with a place in my memoirs and a fair share of eternal gratitude. He grabs a glass of wine off the table, takes a sip, pausing for effect. Now I know what you're thinking. There goes old Bilbo again, taking after that wizard Gandalf and sending you hobbits off into the blue. Well, I can assure you, it's nothing of the sort. Just a little trip to Mickle Delving and back to recover that what one might call a family heirloom from the Matham house, a map of the Shire, supposedly made by the old Took himself, with all sorts of precious annotations. Now, I've sent many letters to the custodian, Malva Slowfoot, asking if I could have it back, even offering fairly generous donations, but for some reason, who knows what that is, she has provided no replies. So I thought that, maybe we shouldn't tell her or her husband. After all, we're talking about something that belonged to my grandfather, of course, and, that would not be out of place here in Bag End. Most of all, we needn't alert that pesky dog, hint, hint, that might be coming, that the Slowfoots have set to guard the place. Sharp as a tack, that one, that beast, he sniffs me out every time I've come near. Besides, I know some of you place more value on local gossip than others. And even just being seen at night in the company of me, the Mad Baggins, might be enough to ruin your reputation forever. But for those of you with spirit, which I know all of you have in spades, or I wouldn't have called you here in the first place tonight, won't you aid me in this errand of particular importance? You, my fellow conspirators? And it goes from there. This is just right up my alley. I've always loved the Hobbits. I've always loved the Shire. But you get some good adventure in the Shire at the beginning of the Fellowship of the Ring, but now you're a Hobbit. And this is a new story within this world. I can't wait. I can't wait to play this. Here's a picture of Bilbo smoking his pipe, getting ready to give his fellow conspirators a grand adventure, giving them a taste of what it feels like to be a hero, even on such a small scale. But that's what's lovely about the Hobbits, right? They're a small people in this grand world, but they still matter, and they make a difference, just like you and me. Anyway, I hope all of you enjoy this lovely day. Smoke a good pipe today. Let the world pass by. And like a hobbit, let all of your cares and worries float off in the breeze, along with the smoke of your pipe. Thanks for stopping by.